Well, geez, I've interviewed you a couple of other times. Well, I think like three times now, maybe between in studio and then over the audio version of this.
Right, yeah.
Twice during the pandemic,
Yeah.
and you've been out touring, or at least maybe touring's the wrong word.
Yeah.
You've done some live gigs, right?
I have done some live shows, yeah.
How
Not
has
very
that
many.
been for you?
It's been really, I mean,
How are you? Are you
now,
nervous about it when you do it, or like what's?
yeah, I get a little nervous. I feel kind of not bad, but is this what I should be doing kind of thing.
Yeah,
But the stand up itself is great and it's so much fun and everyone seems to be having fun. And
good.
for the most part, I've done safe, whatever, socially distant. It was legal, those types of
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
But it
yeah.
is a little nerve wracking. And then, of course, I did a couple, and then now we're shut down again where those shows wouldn't have been allowed. So,
Right. No,
yeah,
it's a
it's just a
weird.
little
Yeah,
back
I'm
and
not.
forth.
No judgment here. It's different from state to state to state to state to state, and then yeah, it's just I asked simply because I'm still not at that point. Like I'm still so uncomfortable with public. Yeah, other than going to the grocery store or Costco or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll eat outside. I don't like to dine in because it's that whole ventilation thing.
Yeah.
And I could be. I don't know. I'm sure that I'm overdoing it, but
Well, I mean, that's better safe than sorry, I think. But I've had, for the most part, didn't do anything for the first, 6 months. Didn't really have a problem with it. And
right.
then did some dining outdoors and stuff. And then I think that made me a bit comfortable. So we did do some indoor dining, but then now that's shut down anyways again.
Yeah, I
So
know it's a drag. I hope people comply though, because we can get like think about this. All that Thanksgiving is, it's Christmas without presents.
yeah,
So if you can lick this in 4 weeks, if you can just mind yourself for 4 weeks, you can have Christmas. Like
that's what I would be
pretty good.
very excited about that.
Yeah,
I mean, given our history with following these rules,
I know. I'm not
I'm not super
optimistic.
hopeful. Yeah, but
No,
that would
I
be nice.
know. I think what it is, and this is, I mean, this will irritate people maybe. I haven't heard, I think this is a Dan Roberts original theory, but I think that we just like to fix things. We just figure we'll fix it when it's broke, right? Like we can put up with that. Like, how often do you replace something when you know it's going to die? Like, it's probably not much left in this, but you wait until it's broken and to go replace it or whatever. And
I
I
think
think that's
that's
what
yeah,
people, yeah, I think people are like, they'll take care of me in the hospital,
yeah.
you know?
I do. Yeah, just let me get it, and I'll because I feel like I've literally heard that from people. They're like, "Wow, just then let me get it." Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to take the hospital bed away. And also, there's no guarantee that you'll be the lucky person that gets
Right.
just the mild version. And there's no guarantee that if you had it, you're going to lick it twice, right? I've said lick
Yeah.
it twice, and I never use that phrase. I don't know what's going on.
It's
But anyway,
catching on.
yes.
That'll be a
Gonna,
T-shirt soon enough.
gonna close out with an old song called Lick It Up by Kiss. But anyway,
I mean, my family is my biggest concern. I would still, yeah, don't know. Yeah, because you're like, well, hopefully they would be
yeah,
fine. But my parents are old enough to be in the vulnerable age range, and so are
yeah,
my grandparents, obviously. So that's the most important part to me.
right.
Yeah, we've opted for Zoom Thanksgiving, and it's sad, but it's not.
Yeah. What does that
It would be
mean?
sadder if my grandma died. So,
Yeah, 100%. What does
yeah.
that mean for you, a Zoom Thanksgiving? Or so what are you
So,
doing at your end of it for food and whatnot?
well, I'm the one with the Zoom account, so I will have paid for us to talk for longer than 40 minutes.
It's actually well, this will make you mad maybe. They've actually said that on Thanksgiving they're going to extend all that. They're going to
Great.
make it
No.
so that everyone can have longer time with their families.
Well, that's cute.
Sorry.
Of course, no. Well, we've used it before. We actually did a
Yeah.
couple just like Sundays where we had it. So I'm getting my money's worth.
Good, good.
No, so I just actually moved into a new house, which is exciting. But of course, they, other than my parents, haven't been able to see it.
Right.
So we're gonna have my parents over here, cook for them, and then Zoom the other two homes. Normally it's my grandparents and then my aunt and uncle, and then their, kids, families.
Right.
But so yeah, you'll kind of all be in the three homes, and then Zoom that way. So
With Hungry Man dinners.
yeah,
Or
basically.
Swans? Is it Swans or Swansons? What's the yeah.
Schwan man.
Ron Swanson's TV dinners?
Ron Swanson's TV dinners. Those would sell
They
very
would.
well.
Everyone comes with a little tiny wood carving.
I feel like every time we talk, we come up with some good business ideas. I don't
Jot
know.
them down.
Yeah.
You can have them. I know.
Okay.
Lord knows I won't be doing anything with them.
So that'll be. I mean, I was pretty upset. I definitely shed some tears when we made that decision. But
Yeah.
again, it's. I'm lucky that I like my family. I know some people probably don't care as much, and also this is saving them. Maybe we've also had a
Oh
big,
yeah. Well, I don't know if anyone wants their family to die. That's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
even
Is it
even in the roughest of relationships, I think you're okay. Like, you know what? I'm going to let you live.
Yeah. Well, and it's obviously been a tough year for everybody, but we did have a family tragedy in February, right before all this happened, and this would be kind of the first holidays missing my cousin, and so I think that was going to be difficult as well. So maybe it'll be kind of like an easing us back into being around each other thing too. So
Right.
yeah,
It's been interesting.
Well,
that's
the
all
year
I got.
seems
You've
like
sucked
5 years.
It's been it's weird. It does in some respects, and then in other ways, it's gone by quick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
No, that's a good, fair.
Yeah.
I mean, because then you look down and you go, oh my God, it's been, 8 months or 9 months of this.
yeah.
But then, I think
if
about
I was
some
honest,
of the things that have happened.
I don't want to go down this road, and we won't. But I just have to say, the last 5 years have felt like forever to me.
Yeah,
Like it's just been exhausting.
I agree.
Yeah. Tell me about the new album. Well, tell me about the first new album. You have two new albums.
Yeah.
You're showing off. You could have just released Monica Nevi a live double album or something, but you've chosen two separate releases, two very different experiences.
The very different albums, yeah. So
Tell me about the Finger Guns one, and let's just start with the title.
Mostly Finger Guns.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Well, it's in one of the bits. It's actually at the very end. So, but it's pretty
You caught me.
casually mentioned. I just like that. It is something that I'd say in the bit, but it's not really that like.
Well, you got it on a
overarching.
T-shirt. You got it on an album title. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah,
I like it.
Sweet artwork that someone just put on the T-shirts for us, so that was nice. If you want one, I would gladly send you a T-shirt.
I'll wear it, but I hate. I don't. I'm good with. I don't need free stuff. It's fun. But I mean, if you want to, but I always feel guilty somehow. So.
Well, you shouldn't, and we have like quite a few. So if you want one, you're more than welcome to one. But yeah, it's a classic stand-up live recorded album. I did it in December, kind of in the before times, right before this.
Oh yeah, no idea what was waiting.
Yeah, crazy. And it was so weird editing because they would just send me like, okay, what does this sound like? And then you're like, why is there 200 people in a basement room all next to each other putting their mouths out and stuff? But that was before.
My wife was like that because we've been binging on older shows just to find, because you finish shows so quickly now, so suddenly you're like, well, all the new ones are done. I gotta. Yeah, and she would, for the first part of the pandemic, she was reacting like that to people. Like, why aren't they're standing too close together?
Yeah, definitely. I still feel like that every time. Even because we watch a lot of reality shows because we're sophisticated. And they've like made new seasons where they've had to make everybody quarantine to like be on it and do all these weird like social distancing things. But even then I'm like, I don't, because you'll see, because we watch The Bachelorette, and the guys in The Bachelorette, they don't have masks, they're fine, but then all the producers and stuff do. So if they come in at any time, they have masks on, and I'm like, why isn't everybody wearing a mask?
Yeah,
like,
but they feel like they cleared them before they got them together, and now they're basically
that
family, sort of.
Too, and then they can't travel like normal seasons where they like take them to Greece or whatever. They're not doing that, so it's different. But still, I'm just like, what if?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Anyways, so it was recorded obviously live in Seattle, And it sounds very nice because there are a lot of people in a room and you forget what
Yeah.
that's like.
I've listened. I haven't made it through the whole album yet, and that is not anything on you. I listen to stuff, comedy. I have to pay attention to, right? And like a lot of times, I'm listening while I'm doing other things, and I'm like, oh, everyone's erupting in laughter, but I have no idea
like,
what just happened. But
yeah,
I like it a lot so far, but I did not make it to the finger guns at the end.
Yeah, the very end. That is actually pretty common for me too. Like when I'm watching a special, it usually takes me like kind of 3 times to get through the whole, which I know is why some comics will put out like 15-minute videos instead of a full hour, because it's kind of what people can handle. So I totally understand, and that's fine. That just means you have to go back and listen to it over and over again. So
that's right. That's right. Will you release the full video as well, or is that you've got chunks of it, but
yeah, so it's interesting. We recorded only on the Thursday night. So actually some of the material on it isn't the same, and then the end of it is just kind of off the rails, kind of wild. So I put some of that up, but yeah, I don't know. I have thought about that, but I don't know if I want the whole thing. And it also, like, yeah, I have a new 15 minutes, which is exciting, but not a new hour. So
right.
if people see the whole thing, then they're going to see some stuff.
So you kind of have to retire that material, right? Basically.
Yeah, basically. I mean, obviously you would want to, but
yeah.
it's
I mean,
not
maybe
the
not
easiest thing in
forever,
the
but
world.
definitely like for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, well, and definitely if I was going to do another album, none of that would be on it. So
yeah. That's a good thing, right? I mean, because it keeps you writing, keeps you sharp.
Well, and keeps me enjoying it. You know, there was some stuff that was so old I wasn't even doing it now. You know, like I had to go back and kind of remember how to do some of the stuff.
Oh, wow.
Because I had kind of moved forward. And so that almost feels nice of like, okay, I'm done with that one now. I can let it free. I don't know.
What's the new 15 minutes? Is it pandemic specific? And is writing during a pandemic hard because you're not like living your interesting life the way that you normally would? Like, cause that's what you got to go out and observe stuff and have things happen to you so you can write about them.
It's hard not to talk about COVID. And I mean, honestly, the shows that I've done, it's kind of awkward if you don't even acknowledge it in some way. But so there is some stuff, but a lot of it, some of it's just new, which I think will be great once we're able to do it. The hard part about it is that I don't have the opportunity to do it in front of an audience as often as I would before. And so I feel like it's not quite developing as fast as or as well as it could for that reason. But then it's nice because once I do a live show, there's a couple of them where I'm like, oh, that's a good one. I like that. They like that. You know, like this is good. Other ones might need some tweaking, but it's,
Do you have jokes that you love that then you get them in front of an audience and no one gets it for whatever reason? Or do you usually kind of nail it? Like, I knew that was going to kill.
I think now my kind of intuition with it is a little bit better, where if I'm like, okay, I think this is really good. But before I had a few where I wouldn't let go of them either, where I was just like, maybe if I change this and kind of do this, and it just never really worked until I finally had to let go of it. But yeah, for sure that happens where you're like, you guys are wrong on this one, you know.
Do you ever keep anything in because you're just like, I don't even care anymore? Like, I just love this joke.
There's a couple of lines that I keep in that are definitely like for me. On the album, I joke about being a stepdad and yelling from the stands, and I have some very specific basketball taglines on that are like, it's for me and like other basketball players, basically, you know. And I keep it in just because I like it and it's for me, and you'll hear like one guy loves it kind of thing. But yeah, I'm just like, I'm yelling at my own kid saying, or yelling at the other team to force my own kid to the left. I'm like, force him left. He never works on his left. And that line is such a basketball specific thing. So if they get it, they love it. If they don't, they're kind of like, well, I don't know what that means, but I keep it in because I like it.
When we've talked, we've not discussed kids at all, but I've seen you tweet about like this 2-year-old.
He's a second grader, but yeah.
Or second grader, my bad.
Yeah, 2-year-old, second grader.
2 years old. He's very advanced for 2. But you've never talked about that. Like, who is this 2-year-old or a second grader? God, I cannot get it straight.
Well, he's not mine. That's why.
He's not yours. That's the
Yeah.
question. Okay. Well, so how are you interacting with this second grader?
I'm a stepdad. No, yeah, my partner has a 7-year-old, and so now that we all live together and stuff, I'm
Yeah.
getting into the parenting stuff. So it's funny because your material does evolve with your life,
Yeah.
obviously, because you're talking about different stuff. But yeah, my parenting experience is a lot different than birthing a 7-year-old. Obviously not at 7, but you know what I mean.
Well,
I gave.
it's
I mean,
2020.
everyone's experience would be
Anything could happen in 2020.
7-year-old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't give birth to him.
No, that's
But
okay.
now I'm the one that's home
Yeah.
teaching him. So it's an interesting change. I mean, in the last year, even a year ago, a year ago now would be completely different. So it's just kind of
And how's that going?
good, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting.
I think you'd be good. You're good with octogenarians. Why wouldn't you be good with
Yeah,
the
it's the same
opposite
thing.
end? Yeah,
They have
it
the
kind
same amount
is.
of filter. I actually right before I started doing stand up full time, I was the assistant director at a Boys and Girls Club. I had worked at YMCA's before. Like I kind of had 7 years of youth development under my belt. So kids don't really scare me. It's especially when they're not biologically yours, you're like, I don't want to screw this up more.
Right.
You know? Like I don't want this to fall on me. But
Right.
yeah, he's got a lot of energy. He's much different than I am. So that is, or that I was like this super shy, quiet kid. I didn't answer a question in class ever. I hated being called on to read, stuff like that. And he answers every question. He raises his hand every time. He's got these long, drawn out explanations of stuff. He's a little performer, and we're just different in that way. And so there's a little bit of like, all right, how do I understand him better? Because he can talk all the time.
And do you feel like you've outgrown that, or do you think that you just are good at faking it now because it's part of your profession?
I think some of it is good at faking it. I also feel like obviously I'm a lot more confident in my certain areas.
Right.
That was pretty common for me in school to like, I would make jokes at the beginning of presentations because it made me feel comfortable. So like being serious and stuff like that, I still don't really feel comfortable. When we had the premiere of 80 for 80, the beginning part, I came out and just kind of was like explaining the thing. And I had never really done that since I'd started doing stand up. And it was like bothering me that people weren't laughing, you know?
Right. But there were no jokes, right? So yeah.
Right. I was, and there were like thank yous and stuff like that, you know, and I just really didn't feel comfortable.
It is
I'm
weird.
Never thanking anyone ever again.
Like getting used to pauses too, which I'm good with. Like if you listen to the radio, people just, they go through their breaks rapidly because they're afraid of that. Like any
it's a
pause.
Silence. Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah. I've gotten really good with that, but I think on stage is a whole other thing. I think it still bothers me.
Yeah, I don't love the silence, but I'm also that's because I have some friends where it's like when they get off stage, they're like, "Let's go do karaoke. Let's go be in front of people all the time." And I'm like, I did my thing. Like I have to like save up my energy to do stand up.
Oh wow!
From like I don't know why. And then talk to people afterwards. I do the best that I can, but eventually I need to kind of like be alone.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that. Some people like we can go to a bar and you can do karaoke, but I'm just going to like chill and have a beer, you know? Yeah.
Don't nag me all night to get up there with the microphone. What do you want to say? No, we're going to do a duet. Come on.
Yeah. No, thank you. People are always very like confused why I don't like doing karaoke. And I'm like, I don't.
Yeah. I know. I know. I tell people I'm shy and they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you.
You're like, sometimes.
I think I know me better than you know me.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, man.
Thanksgiving, pretty much here. What are you grateful for, Monica Nevi?
Oh, man. You could have warned me on this one.
It's a hardball question.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm grateful for so much. Just that we've been able to make this work during this time. I mean, not being able to work and still I mean, it sounds so corny, but like I am very grateful to the people who have still supported my career during the weirdest time. I mean, a lot of
Right.
it is me making it up and just doing whatever live streams and different stuff. And I've
Yeah,
been
you
able to
got to be a
maintain
yeah.
my family because of it. And so I feel very lucky for that. And the album went #1. I mean, people are still, I sometimes feel like I don't know if I am a comedian anymore just because I don't have the connection to it. And so those experiences
Oh,
always like
yeah.
bring it back and go, oh, people do like my stand up. People do remember me as a comedian. They do support me still. And
Right.
so,
Because you're not out there constantly.
yeah, this would be a way different
Yeah.
feeling and situation if I didn't have that experience. So I'm so grateful for my fans.
It's not. I mean, it shouldn't feel cheesy or hokey to say those things, like to say but it always just deciding to say thank you kind of does, which I think is something about our society. I don't know. Like we need to get over
Yeah,
that and just thank people more, and
definitely.
get
Yeah.
get good with it, I guess.
Yes. Well, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
grateful.
Now, when you come over here, like you do, like these, like you're hitting. You're not just coming over here to play one club. You hit so many areas, and my wife wanted me to tell you that you're probably the only person to perform in Springdale that has had a #1 album. So,
Well, good. I'm going to put that
congratulations.
on my website. Tell
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
I'll get hate mail now
Forgot
from
about
Springdale. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll say, no, it was Chuck Berry or something. You know, it'll
Yeah,
be,
of course. They're like,
oh, how did I not know that? Oh my gosh. Tell me about the other album, and I don't even understand what's happening here because there's nothing funny about your upcoming album.
No, there is.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay, all right.
Have
It's
you ever seen the meditations?
I haven't watched your
Okay.
meditations.
So yeah, I have a couple, I used to do them monthly. They were just like 2 minutes on my YouTube, and it's like a comedic meditation. Honestly, it's I swear a lot and stuff, and it's
Okay.
but it's hard to explain it because I don't like it is a joke and it is funny, but they're like legit relaxing too. Like it's like pretty nice meditative, and so this people liked them. I enjoyed doing them, and then about maybe a year and a half ago, I decided I wanted to do an album of guided meditations, but before they were all like for the month. So like, this is your meditation for November. This is what's going to happen during November. Here's, the things to kind of keep you calm. The album is like each track has kind of a theme. So there's like for work stress, there's one for family gathering, which actually I'm going to put out a music video for the day before Thanksgiving. So that'll be a good lead into it. If you're sick, different things just on there. And so, but they're longer, 5, some are 7 minutes. And I had a composer from Los Angeles. His name is Jeremy Shabo. He did original music for all of it. And so it's like pretty great. He did a really great job of kind of letting me be like, I mean, it's the weirdest thing.
It is. It sounds like performance art, kind of.
We met each other at the weirdest show. This guy has this mansion in LA, and he does a show once a month, and it's comedian, band. And so you had, but it's like in his
party
theater.
in his house.
Yeah. He got a theater inside of his house. And so it was weird. But then he lets like musicians stay and play afterwards and whatnot. And so we had met there, talked about another project or so, and then I kind of told him about it, and he was like, well, yeah, send it to me. So then I have to send him the audio with nothing behind it of just me talking and it's just weird. But he was so good about, I'd be like, well, this one I want to sound kind of like the 96 Bulls theme song, like when they came out, and he's like, I'll have to look that up. But then he like nails it, so it's like they're all different. It's kind of like different types of music too. And they're pretty, I'm pretty proud of that. Honestly, that one's easier for me to listen to than my stand-up album because I've heard the stand-up so much and kind of I just get a little bit picky. But with this, I'm like, this is so different, and I'm pushing it a little bit more. One, because if it goes #1 as well, that'll be kind of the first time that's happened in such a short period of time. Also for a meditation album, not a classic comedy album. And it's I don't know. It's not that it's better. I mean, I love my stand. They're just so different from each other.
Yeah.
But I'm like very proud of it for some reason, and it's like
Well, and
pretty legit.
that's,
I think meditating right now wouldn't hurt anybody. So
I guess you can, I was going to say, well, that could be a franchise, but I mean, either one, you are the brand. So I mean, anything you put out is part of the franchise,
it's all under
I
the
guess.
same,
Yeah.
all under the same name. Yeah, and it'll be available the same ways that the other one. You know, it's on all the platforms too. So, and
Now, is there a
first
clip?
week of December is when it comes out. But
First week of December. Is there a clip from that I can share with people, or that
Yeah,
you would recommend
so-
sharing?
So we already did a music video for one track, and it's just relaxation is it's a general relaxation kind of one. But so on my YouTube, there's a full video of that.
Here's some questions for you, just lifestyle topics. Which is better, knowing everything about your partner's past, or knowing very little about it?
Why do you have such hard questions today? I don't know. Like, I want to say knowing everything because then there's a good communication. But for me personally, I don't really want to know anything.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to see anything. I know that
and
it
I
happened.
can't stop like thinking about it and stuff. And you're like, why does this? Or you're comparing yourself, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah, well-
I'm fine not knowing. Honestly, I don't want to ask. I don't have questions.
Yeah, I don't want to see the person. I don't want to know that they're better looking than me, and that I don't know why you decided on me. I don't want any of that
I
information.
mean, my situation, it's like, well, I know that there is at least one person because you created a child.
Right.
But
Right.
otherwise,
I don't want a number
Okay.
either. That's the like. I don't need to know how many. I don't want to think about that.
and some people really want to know that. I don't even know if they think it's helpful for them or not, or they're just so like they need to know. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
I think it's. I would stay away from that person that needs to know. I feel. I would. Yeah.
So
Ooh. Here's a situation, like this could be like a Dear Abby type of situation. This person did not like his old boss, finally quit their job, got a better one, but they also, while they were employed by this person, they got some dirt on him. He always parks in a handicapped spot. He's got him on video 27 times. This is obsessive.
Wow.
Like maybe this person also needs a little work as well.
Yeah, that's a little.
That's a little creepy. 27 times pulling into a handicap spot. He's the only one in the car. He gets out. The license plate is clear in the video. He's fully able-bodied. He has no sticker to give him the privilege of parking there.
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
And this person's thinking about posting the video on YouTube anonymously in a new account just to get, they say vindication. I'm thinking revenge
Yeah.
for some slight that they think happened to them. And they also think they'd be doing a public service by shaming him into stopping his practice of doing this. What say you, Monica Nevi?
I don't know if it's necessary to do the public thing. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
he shouldn't be, but you're right. I think it sounds very like what? How did he hurt you before? You know, like there's
Right,
a lot of revenge.
right, yeah, this is
coming
like
out
a
here.
Lifetime movie or something happened.
Yeah, definitely. I don't like. I feel like you just tell him or you show him, but then you have to talk to him. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a way to be like, hey, stop doing this without making it
Yeah.
a whole thing, or
Maybe you just send the video to him. I'll edit it up with all, and then although there's always the chance that it'll come back to haunt you that way too, I suppose.
yeah. Well,
I think
could
you just ignore it and you move on with your life. Would be.
I think that would be Well, obviously, this person isn't great at that if they've recorded him 27 times.
Yeah.
But could you just tell like parking enforcement or like the police that you'd be like, hey, I've been catching this guy. Can you go do something? I
Got
don't
an
know.
anonymous tip.
Yeah.
There's this guy that's constantly parking in the handicap spot in front of my building.
Yeah,
He's not
here's
handicapped.
The license plate.
Yeah. I wonder if they would. I wonder how that call would go. Like what the other end of that call would be like if they'd take it seriously.
Right. Yeah. Or how?
Yeah.
How do
I
you
mean,
know
clearly,
this
if they
person?
happened to be there and they saw it, they would take it seriously. But yeah, that's wild. What do you do with the leftovers, Monica? In a normal year, clearly this year's weird. Who knows if there'll be leftovers? But
Well, we're making it turkey because I love
right on.
turkey.
Start early.
I
Thaw it out early.
I do sandwiches for as long as I can. I like rolls with a little butter and salt, and then put turkey right in there.
Oh, I like that.
I love it. I love turkey. In fact, for my college graduation, we had like Thanksgiving dinner in June, like for
There's
my
a
graduation party,
there's
because
a
I was like, this is
restaurant.
what I want.
There's a restaurant in Spokane called Laguna Cafe. It's really good, but they have Thanksgiving dinner on the menu year round. Like if you
That's
feel like,
fucking
yeah,
awesome. Because
yeah,
that turkey is different. Like I feel like you can't just get that really anywhere, you know? So
yeah. Next time
yeah,
you're in Spokane and you feel like you need turkey, you should go up there,
I'll
or they
be
can
every
probably
time.
bring it. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I am booked in February, but we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, is so turkey, you actually like the turkey.
I
Like
love the turkey.
it's not matter of fact for you. It's not just taken for granted. Like that's part of the appeal.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing actually, and most people like something else
Stuffing.
on
I
the
love
plate more.
stuffing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a popular one. And I do like stuffing, but it's just not. Yeah, I like legit love the turkey. I can't. We do. My family's weird. Uh, my uncle
Well, I
makes
don't
a
know if that's
very
weird.
not that because we like turkey.
Okay.
My uncle makes a very big spectacle every single year of him cutting the cranberry. We have like the canned cranberries, right? Cranberry sauce. And he like makes we play music sometimes. We have videos and photos from every single year. It's this whole thing. He pretends um, he forced our 7-year-old to watch him last year, like right next to him. He's like, "Come here, come get right here," and his face is like, "I don't get it. What are you doing?" And so he cuts them, and it's this whole production every single time, and then nobody eats them. No one has even a single one except probably my grandpa has one slice, and that's it. And it's this huge thing. Ray's got to cut the cranberries, and then nobody
Right.
eats it. So
I've warmed up to cranberries, but yeah, I've avoided them for most of my life. I think it's like the last 10 years maybe that I
yeah, I'm not. I
became
mean,
good with it.
cranberry juice is fine with me,
Yeah, that's
and
different.
yeah, but
Vodka
the stuff.
cranberry? Any
Yeah,
is
I
that?
mean that's I love
Yeah.
vodka cranberry sauce. Um,
That could be a thing too. That's another invention. Write it
they
down.
could. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
it's an artisan vodka cranberry. It's fresh.
It's a
You stir it up
Thanksgiving vodka
yourself.
cranberry. It's just the
Yeah.
jelly and then vodka on top.
Yeah. I had that one. They had a if you ever get I like lamb, which is really odd for me because I'm not an
For
experimental.
Thanksgiving or just
No, not
in
for
general?
Thanksgiving, just
Okay.
in general. But and with mint, and it's like a mint sauce is really good. But some restaurants cut corners and they have like this mint jelly, and it tastes like scope. I mean, it's horrible. It's like a whole other experience. So you just reminded me of that for some reason with the cranberry jelly.
Yeah.
Do you watch the Thanksgiving Day parade?
No, I don't even. I mean, I'm sure I've seen it a couple times, but
Yeah. I don't know
I
why I
also don't
like
have
it.
cable now.
Yeah.
But
Well, it used to always be on like the main, like you could get it over the air.
yeah, I feel like when I was younger, it would be on. But they're also big. I mean, we're big sports fans, so there's always
Yeah.
football on too. So
Yeah. I
that's
think this
more
happens
of.
before football, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think so as well.
I don't know why. I do watch it, and I don't know why. It's cheesy. I mean, it really is legitimately cheesy, but it's like,
I want to see Santa.
yeah, I want to see Santa, Monica, and I want to see Underdog
I get it.
and Snoopy, and
Yes, Snoopy.
I don't know. You're in your jammies. It's
Are
easy
they
on
doing
the.
it this year, or what's
I
the?
don't. They are, but I don't know how. I don't know how they're doing. I don't think they're not allowing crowds. I think they should just go to an open field somewhere and do it that way,
Just
and
have the-
just have drones.
Oh,
I
what
mean,
is
why
that
do they
thing?
even need to do it in the city if you're just gonna like? There are things that need to happen in the city. Why stop that from going on if you're not allowing people to watch the parade?
What is that? Oh man, I was in Albuquerque once during my travels, and they have the hot air balloon festival,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
it's just like it's crazy. It's like 1,000 hot air balloons all at the same time, and but they're all in this huge field. You have to take like a school bus out to it, and it's like a huge fair too. Like they have all the
Yeah.
food and stuff. And we had to get there at like 6 in the morning, like before the sun came up, and then they all go at the same time as the sun's rising.
Yeah.
But you could do that with parades, just like have everybody spread out like that and then blow them up there.
Why don't they just have a festival like that for parade balloons?
Yeah.
Just it's a big photo op. It's not moving past you. It's just suspended right here.
Right.
Come get your photo taken with the giant, Winnie the Pooh.
It kind of is the same thing because a lot of the hot air balloons had like, there was like an Angry Birds one and like a different, like they had a pirate ship and stuff. Like they had different.
They're sponsored like NASCAR.
Some said Wells Fargo. I remember that. I think the one good picture we got was the Wells Fargo behind me.
Yeah. That's funny. I haven't been up too far, but I did hop in a hot air balloon. They'll like put you up 100 feet or something and bring you back
and like have it like roped down.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which makes sense because it's in the name, but
there's just fire right next to your face.
There's just fire right next to you. Yeah, it's like your contacts melt to your eyeball, and
I would absolutely hate that. I just do not like heights, and it's not getting better. I thought like as a kid it would go away, and it just never did. So I hate it.
So do you for those feelings, do you meditate seriously, or you just like doing a spoof of meditation?
I do meditate seriously. I do not do, of course, should we pitch this? I don't do guided meditations though, because I do laugh at them. I get distracted by what they're saying and kind of like, I'm pretty good at like following things and like feeling my body. And then sometimes it makes me feel weird. Like, I don't know. So I don't really do guided meditations, but I do meditate just normally.
So just with silence and your thoughts or music, calming music?
Yeah, I usually use music with no, maybe we should put out the instrumental version.
Well,
that's not me anymore. That's just Jeremy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, that could be bonus tracks or something though. That's kind of interesting.
But yeah, and I mean, the whole idea of meditation is that you only focus on one thing, or you only think about one thing, and any other thought that comes in, you just kind of let it go by, which is why guided can be pretty helpful because it focuses like what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
I like music helps me a lot kind of stay where I am. That's why people tell you to focus on your breathing a lot, so you focus on the one thing. My biggest thing, which there is a track on the album, which is a body scan, and that is actually the easiest, most effective way I think to not think about anything else. For some reason, if you are focused on one part of your body, so if you just think of your foot or you think of your right knee, and you can think of it, obviously, then you can't think of anything else. And so when I get really anxious or stressed out, that is actually, there's a breathing exercise and then that, where I'll just like, even if I'm walking, I'll kind of say what I'm thinking of. So I'd be like, left foot, left knee, right knee, left hip, right hip. Like,
I think
and
that
then
would make me anxious.
Think about those things.
Yeah.
Not as they're moving, but just like, that's just what I think of.
Yeah.
And it does help. It's almost feel a little bit guilty sometimes when I am stressed, and then I do that and it just goes away. Like, it helps a lot. And I'm like, oh, well, that was easier than it should have been.
You feel like you know the secret that nobody else knows or something?
Kind of, or like things don't mean as much to me because I can just sit there for a second and forget it. It's not real, obviously.
Temporary moment of euphoria, and then
yeah. Well, and I can used to. I haven't been able to get as much alone time. To really get to a point where like physically my body will tingle and stuff, and like I don't really think, like I almost become dissociated with the room, and so when I'm done, then I kind of like, it's weird.
You do transcendental meditation? Is that what we're saying here?
Not on purpose.
Are you like Doctor Strange and you travel outside of your body?
That's what it feels like sometimes. But yeah. I also I really like meditation. I think it is good for people. But I also think it has this weird hippie stigma, and most of the people who teach it or whatever, I don't like, and I don't feel comfortable around.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I liked the kind of funny meditation, like kind of chill, because it's like, I think people should do it, but don't be weirded out by it, you know?
Yeah. Well, we don't get enough quiet, I mean, which is in itself just helpful. I mean, we're so used to like, well, even if it's quiet, but you're like looking at your phone or something and getting all the visual stimulation, like we're not used to just being and it can like kind of there is something helpful about it.
Definitely. Well, and there's something I think detrimental to being stimulated all the time. And so, it doesn't have to be very long. I think
Right.
people imagine monks or something enchanting and whatnot, and it just doesn't. And there's other types of like movement meditations where you're doing something, so you
Right.
don't just sit there, which can be easier or whatever. It's and a lot of things can still be like if I go and play basketball and I just shoot over and over again in the same spot and only think about that. That's a meditation right
Oh,
there. I
yeah.
mean, you're only thinking about that one thing. So it doesn't have to be this weird
Right.
gong
I don't know.
chanting thing.
Yeah, I feel that way when I play guitar or when I'm drawing
Yeah.
or something. Like,
Yeah.
especially draw. Well, either one really. I can't explain it, but the person around you is going nuts because you're playing the same riff over and over again
But
while
it's
you're trying
over,
to noodling around trying to figure it out. But for you, you're like kind of, I
Yeah.
don't know. You're just feeling it,
I've found. I mean, I'm not a great drawer or colorer, but like coloring, I do find that because it is kind of repetitive, but it's still
Yeah.
you're just thinking about that kind of thing. I like it a lot. But if you've
Hot breaking
basically-
news.
yeah,
Monica Nevi likes to color.
if you've never meditated, I think you would really like the album. And if you have meditated for a long time, I think you would like the album because it's different and there's jokes literally for people who meditate kind of thing.
So
And then there's plenty of dick jokes as you would expect from me. So
perfect. But you
Yeah.
think people actually can meditate to it? Like in addition
Oh,
to being
yeah.
funny, you think they could actually relax and calm their
I mean, yeah, there's definitely breaks of,
Yeah.
comedic laughter that might make you lose focus a little bit. But no, I think and then they're all like, some of them are just relaxing and whatever, but some of them are oddly motivating too. Like there's a couple that are like, this is a meditation before you have something important, like a job interview or a test or something. And so, I feel like legit pumped up after I listen to that one.
Nice.
I mean,
I don't
it
think-
has so much to do with the music because he
Oh yeah.
was great at capturing kind of emotion and what it would be like that. So it's pretty
I don't think anybody's going to be pissed because you took them out of their meditation with laughter. It'd be different if it's like, now here's the sound of a bus horn or something,
yeah. Oh yeah. Or here's your mom's calling. Yeah.
What are you doing in there? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The other thing that has stigma is yoga, right?
Yeah.
Which you're not selling any yoga products, but I made that
yet.
connection.
I'm kidding.
Not yet. But yoga stretching actually works. Like I have back issues and like it really does work, but
Yeah.
I don't ever see myself going to a yoga class. I feel
It
like I would be
is-
viewed as a pervert because I just imagine it's full of women and the guys that are there are nothing like me at all. I just picture I don't want to insult anybody, but I just picture like the hippie person that you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely there. But I've seen like old dudes go, which maybe they are being creepy. I don't know, but
maybe they are a bit groovy. I love that sentence. Oh my
I have
God.
like terrible knees and a bad back from basketball and stuff, and the heat. I'll do hot yoga, and that actually helps more than most. Like I've been to physical therapy. I've done I've done all this stuff. It makes me feel better more than those things, but I'm so bad at it because of my body. Like I'm just not very flexible, and like I can't hold things for very long. I get called out in yoga class like a lot.
Oh.
And so sometimes I'm like, I don't know. But it's the same thing with anything that's kind of got the hippie stigma, is like some instructors are like the chillest, coolest, like just modify things if you want, whatever. And then some are so spiritual, like I can't really understand what they're telling me to do.
Yeah.
Like and then I'm like looking around, like figuring
I'm just
out
here
what
to
I'm supposed
stretch,
to do.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm also afraid I'm going to fart if I was in one of those classes.
Yeah, there's some toots in there for
There's
sure.
some dudes. I don't want to be that guy. Oh, here he is again. He farts in class.
Oh, there's the fart guy. Yeah, definitely.
I'll let you out of here after this. What's Now we know that Black Friday apparently is sort of a thing still. I guess that's the question, really. Is Black Friday a thing, and is it a thing
Yeah,
that
I
you
don't
get
know. Can
excited
it be?
about?
No, I don't. Last year was the first year I'd ever even purchased anything on that day. Um, we were just coming home after Thanksgiving and stopped and got a Christmas tree, which was a lot cheaper, so that worked out.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like my aunt used to leave at like 3 p.m. on Thanksgiving.
Oh, on Thanksgiving?
To go, yes,
Yeah.
to go and get in line or whatever. And my cousin finally told her she didn't want to go with her maybe 5 years ago. And my aunt was like, well, fine, then you're just going to get whatever I find at Kohl's for you. And then I said out loud, oh, like the rest of us for the last 10 years?
Oh.
And she was so mad.
Oh.
Everyone else laughed at it. I was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's true. So she would just go whatever she got that day at Kohl's or wherever she was going. That's what the Christmas gifts
that
were.
was the bundle. That was,
Yeah.
it didn't happen throughout
Didn't
the
matter it was
year
on your
or
list.
after that
Didn't
day.
matter.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
It was everything. So I think last year she didn't go at all.
It's the
Until
only time of
Thanksgiving.
year, it's the only day of the year that my family seems remotely related to me in the fact that I'm a collector, like I'm a
Okay.
fanboy / collector. And they would get up, my sisters and my mom would get up early on Black Friday at some like really ungodly hour, you know, so that they could be first in line or among the first in line. And they knew which stores opened when, and they would hit them all in hopes of getting whatever cheap, lousy freebie he was waiting for,
Right,
which
yeah,
sounds like something I would do, except for the part about getting up at the crack of dawn to go do it. But yeah, it used to be a thing. It's not so much anymore.
No, especially
for
with
them. I mean,
I just think about internet deliveries, and they do deals on there sometimes too. So I feel like
they started a
maybe
few
a
years
little
ago.
less.
They started doing Black Friday online, like, you know, way ahead of time. And this
Yeah.
year, I don't even think people know. Like, I've been getting Black Friday emails throughout October into November. Like, I don't. Black Friday. You know,
Yeah,
it's
you're
like Black Fall now.
Right. It's been Black Year.
Well, that's of another nature. Yeah. Anything else you want to part with? Any thoughts? Any plugs?
I mean, go check out the albums. The first one's already out there, mostly Finger Guns. Second one is called
awesome.
Chill. That is
Okay.
called Chill. Yeah, and those will be. But yeah, everything else, if you want to find me, it's just my name at Monica Nevi, monicanevi.com, all that stuff.
Perfect. I love it. I love the Finger Guns. What I've listened to is very funny. I recommend it, and I've seen you a bunch of times. So I mean, you know, I wouldn't be talking to you if I could.
If you didn't like it, yeah.
I don't think so. I couldn't fake it, you know. So anyway, you're great. Thank you so much for doing this, and have a great Thanksgiving, Monica.
Yeah, thanks for having me.